Hello and welcome back to another episode of Twisted Iron Projects. In today's video, we are going to be making a tool that goes hand in hand with a passion of mine, something that I very much enjoy, and that will be smoking a tobacco pipe. Now, I know that smoking tobacco of any kind is not good for you, but it's nice to enjoy some of the finer things in life, such as a nice bottle of scotch, a cigar every now and then. But for me, I prefer the tobacco pipe. It's especially helped me with quitting smoking cigarettes, and so I love it very much. It has become a great passion of mine. And so today's video, we are making a tool for a tobacco pipe. Now this is a simple tool that is used for tamping down the tobacco in your bowl to keep it lit, as well as to help clean out the bowl once you're finished smoking. So if you want to see how I made this, make sure to stick around. But before I get to that, I want to invite you guys to continue watching till the end of this video, because I have a very special review I want to do of a product that I have received recently, and it comes all the way from the Ukraine, and that is a custom-made tobacco pipe. I absolutely love this pipe, so make sure you stick around to the end of the video to see my full review of it. But for now, let's go on to the forge and make ourselves a tobacco pipe tool. To start this project off, I am using an old nail that I found. You also can pick these up at any hardware store. And it is about 1/4 inch round, and we're going to need it to be right about 3 inches long for this project. You can make it as long as you'd like. I just prefer 3 inches because it fits nicely in the pocket at that point. So I'm going to get it nice and hot, use my hot cutoff tool, and I'm going to clip it off at 3 inches from the base of the head to the point where I want the end to be. From here, I'm just going to straighten it up a little bit and make it easier for when I actually square it. And this is where my little clip horn or shelf right there comes in extremely handy, is for these smaller projects. That way I can still hold it with the tongs and have the head over the edge of the anvil. Now I'm just going to take, with like most of my projects, I do 1/4 inch round. I'm going to square it up. Now this is really important because having it square is where we're going to get our twist design in for decorative reasons. And so, again, this would probably be easier just starting with 1/4 inch, making a head on it, but this is what I had on hand, so this is what I use. Use whatever you got. And squaring up a piece of metal is not all that difficult of a process. One of the really nice things I enjoy about taking any type of 1/4 inch round or a round bar and squaring it up by hand is the corners aren't very crisp. And so, like, if you want a very uniform and precise twist, the crisper your corners are, the better it'll come out. But doing it by hand like I am, you leave a little bit of variation, and it makes your twist look really unique and one of a kind, hand forged. And so that's one of the things I really enjoy about doing my squaring it up by hand. Now that we got it squared up, I'm going to take roughly about an inch of material, 1/2 inch to an inch of material, and I'm going to flatten it out a little bit. Get it less than that 1/4 inch. We're going to make a bit of a scoop, kind of a spoon almost. We're going to taper off the edges and just keep flattening it out until it gets to a dimension that I'm really comfortable with and enjoy. Now this piece is going to be basically, like I said, the spoon that you'll use to clean your bowl at the end of your smoke. We could also clean this up a little bit more once we get further down the line with a file or some sandpaper. That way we can take any rough edges off. That way we're not actually cutting into the bowl when we clean. Now that we got that taken care of, I've also got a nice place to place it in my vise. So we're going to heat it up nice and even, put it in my vise, and just give it a couple twists. You could do whatever type of twist you'd like. I prefer just the basic, simple, one direction twist. I think this also might look very nicely with a reverse twist, but whatever your preference is. Now that we've got the twist taken care of, we're going to go over to our wood stump with our wooden mallet, and we're going to just straighten the tool out. Now this is the beauty of using a nail to begin with for this project, is we don't have to do the head anymore for the tamping section of this. And so that would have been taken care of earlier and would have taken up a lot more time. So I definitely recommend getting a nail for this project. It'll make your life a heck of a lot easier. Now that we got that taken care of, like I said, we're going to touch it up with a little bit of sandpaper, just knock off any sharp edges to prevent, 1, from cutting yourself, and 2, from cutting into your bowl. And so you don't want to damage your pipe, and so you want to make sure your surfaces are fairly smooth and rounded off. No sharp edges. And to add a little bit more detail to my twist, what I'm going to do is just gently sand over the top of my twist. I'm not trying to dig in there. I'm just trying to gently scrape off that black on the piece of metal from me forging it and heating and everything. And we're just going to highlight the edges of that twist. Just kind of gives a little bit more definition. In my opinion, looks very nicely. Now I also decided to go ahead and add a little bit of shine to my spoon side, and I'll do the top of the head as well. Just again, it comes down as personal preference at this point. We're just cleaning it up, doing a little bit of decorative touch up. Once I do finish this, I'll go ahead and coat it with my beeswax oil mix that I have, and that'll just help prevent it from rusting. And I'll just have to touch that up occasionally as I go along over time, because I don't want to do it when it's hot, because then that'll get rid of all the definition I just did with the sandpaper. And there you have it. There it is. That's the pipe tool. So I'm just going to keep touching it up a little bit, just kind of polishing those outer sides to define that twist a little bit more. But I mean, it's really that simple of a project. If you know somebody that is into tobacco pipes, this would be a great gift for them. And so I highly recommend you guys give this a try. It's also a great practice piece, getting used to working smaller material. So, as I said before in the beginning of this video, I've recently got this custom-made pipe, tobacco pipe. And it comes from a company on Etsy called Pleasant Impression. And they're handmade by a gentleman out of the Ukraine, and I gotta say it's a fantastic pipe. Very, very well priced. I mean, I've had quite a few pipes in my day. Some of them ranging from cheapy $5 pipes on up to $60 pipes. And for the price, I've got to say, being custom made, this is by far one of the best pipes I've ever owned. And it does have laser engraving of my company, of my blacksmithing channel's logo, as well as the name, Twisted Iron Projects, on the stem. So very beautiful work. It is hand carved, and I'm guessing is laser engraved. Very nice brass accents, and I love the long stem. So the reason why I went with the long stem is it allows the smoke time to cool before it gets to my tongue, and prevents your more aromatic tobaccos from giving you tongue bite. So I absolutely love this pipe. Now, this pipe does have a very smooth draw, and unlike other pipes that I've had an issue with, to where after smoking for a little while you get the oil residue from the tobacco built up in the stem and it gets in your mouth. That's because most pipes have the inlet hole drilled towards the bottom, whereas this one is a little bit higher up. Not much, but enough to prevent that from happening. And so I love that feature and the fact where he drilled that hole at. The quality of the work, absolutely fantastic. The functionality of the pipe, great. Now, I've been smoking cigarettes for a long time, and that's actually why I've changed over to tobacco pipe, because I'm trying to quit cigarettes. I haven't had a cigarette for a couple months now. And so this tobacco pipe, along with some other products, have really helped me quit smoking cigarettes. I know tobacco is still tobacco and smoking is not good regardless, but it is nice every now and then to kick back, relax, and have a simple smoke from my tobacco pipe. And I gotta say that when it comes time to relax, this is by far my favorite pipe to smoke out of all of them that I have. Very comfortable in the hand. It doesn't heat up too quickly. It is a very well-made pipe. And the shipping was much faster than I anticipated. Coming all the way from like halfway across the world, from the Ukraine to Wyoming, it only took right about 8 to 10 days, I want to say. I don't remember exactly the number, but it was a lot faster than I was anticipating, that is for sure. The gentleman that makes these pipes was also extremely helpful with all the questions I had about it during the purchase process. How to make my logo into a image that he was able to then use for the laser engraving, the right resolution and size that it needed to be. He was also very helpful in recommending the size bowl to make sure my logo came out looking very well and large enough for you to see. Had several different options for the font, which fantastic options. He had quite a few of them that all looked great, but this is the font that I chose to go with, and I absolutely love it. And he does have smaller pipes, and I do plan on getting some eventually that are custom. And but this one just kind of stood out to me a lot. And with his recommendation, it came out fantastically. And so if you have any questions about your logo or how to do it and to get it to him, make sure to message him there on Etsy. He responded very quickly. Now you gotta understand that there is a time difference. And so most of his emails did come out in my nighttime because that'd be his daytime. Like I said, he is halfway across the world, so that's to be anticipated. So keep that in mind when you do message him. Wait a little while and he will get to you. He was very helpful and very punctual about getting to me when he was able to. And so I really appreciate his help and all the designing aspects of this and helped me out with my entire purchase process. And so I'm going to leave a link in the description as to where you could go to get your own custom pipe from this gentleman. And I highly recommend it. I hope you guys enjoy. Stay classy, party on.